Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel once again. Today's tutorial will be on how to cut this trendy Bubu dress. It can also go as a kimono dress with collar and chest effect. So it will be a well detailed tutorial, so make sure you watch it to the end. Before we go over to the work table, if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please do that now. Click on the subscribe button down below and subscribe. Also turn on the post notification bell so you'll be the first to get notified each time I upload a new video. Yes, and don't forget to give this video a giant thumbs up and also share. So for this outfit, you will need 4 essential measurements. The first one is the measurement from your center back to wherever you want your sleeve to get to. The second one is the length of the dress, and also you will need your hip length. That is from your shoulder to your hip. Then you will also need the hip circumference, measurement of your hip circumference. So those are the measurements you will need. Without further ado, let's go over to the work table. So guys, I've folded my fabric. I have an African print here of 3 yards. Now I folded this in a way that I want these patterns to be vertical. So I'll use this paper to illustrate how I folded it. So let's say this is a complete 3 yards of the African print. So I folded it in like manner, like this, and also folded it again in this manner. So this is the folded part. This folded part right here, can you see? So if you look at it now, it is folded into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So folded into 4. This is the folded part up here as well. And I've ruled my starting line, which is this. Now, the measurement from my center back to where I want the sleeve to get to is 18 inches. Now, before I measure that, I'll measure the width of my neckline, which is 3.5 inches. Then I'll measure 18 inches. That is from the center back to where I want the sleeve to stop is 18 inches. I will add 1 inch to it, so that makes it 19 inches, which I will measure here. You can see this is the center back and the center front right here. So 19 inches. Now on this 19 inches point, I'll come down by 1.5 inches just to get the shoulder slope. Then I'll connect it to the neck width. Now for the neck depth, I have both the front and the back together. I'll make it for the back, it will be 1 inch for the neck depth, which is right here. And I will use my armhole cuff neckline at the back. So this is for the back neckline. Now I'll come over to the sleeve opening. So this will be my sleeve opening, since this is where the sleeve is stopping. So this is the sleeve opening. I'll measure 9 inches at that point. So I've taken into consideration the shoulder slope here. So if I measure it from the shoulder slope, I have 7.5 inches, which is okay for me. So from the starting line, I measured 9 inches. So which will be the sleeve opening, and I'll connect it in like manner. Now I will measure the hip line. That is from my shoulder point right here. I'll measure my hip line, which is 24 inches. is right here. So 24 right here. I'll measure it here again. 24 inches. Now on the hip line, I will measure quarter of my hip measurement. The hip circumference measurement I'm working with is 34 inches. Now 34 divided by 4 is 8.5 inches. Now 8.5 inches, because this is a short gown, I will add extra 3 inches to it. So 8.5 inches plus 3 inches, that is 12.5 inches. I will just make it 13 inches or 13.5. That is 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then the length of the gown I'm working with is 40 inches, and I will add extra 2 inches to it. I have 42 right here, which I've marked out. So 42 inches is the total length. Now whatever I have here, I'll measure it at the hem too. So I'll also measure it here, 13.5 inches. Then I'll connect it from the hem to the hip line. If you want to make it a cowl kaftan, just go to the description box. The first link you will see there will be a video to how to cut a cowl kaftan. So this is more like a kimono, like a normal bubu, just without the cowl here. So let's continue. Now at this point, from this hip line, you will just connect it to the sleeve opening right here. So I will do that now using my hip cuff. First, let me measure the 13.5 inches towards this end too, towards the bust area. No, we are not making use of our bust circumference. So I'll just connect it in this manner using the cuff part of this hip cuff. Just make sure there is no sharp edge around here. That is the need for this cuff. Now the next thing is to cut it out, but before I do that, I'll just add ½ inch to the upper part here. That is to join it at the shoulder. ½ inch. Okay, I have ½ inch here already, so let me just add ½ inch right here. So this will be the allowance to join it at the shoulder. Now I will cut it out. Cut out the back neckline, don't forget. Then we go to the front neckline. Now I will cut the neckline for both the front and the back, this round neckline, just for me to know the width of my neckline before I come back to the front neckline. Can you see it? Now if you are making a long dress, you can add 6 inches or 5 inches to quarter of your hip measurement. You know, right here I added 3 inches because this is a short gown, but if you are making a long dress, add 5 to 6 inches to quarter of your hip measurement. Now the next thing I'll do is to remove the back. This is the back. So the back neckline is okay. Now we come back to the front neckline. Now on the front neckline, for the depth, I'll come down by 7 inches. But because I've already cut out 1 inch from here, from the depth with the back neckline, I'll just come down by 6 inches. Yeah. Now 6 inches is okay. or better still, let me make it 7 inches. So 7 inches. So with the addition of 1, that is 8 inches for the depth. So depth is 7 inches, and right here on that 7 inches point, just go in by 1 inch. 1 inch is okay. Then I'll connect it, and from this 1 inch point, just connect it to the neck width right here. The front is a V neck, but it's not a sharp V, a pointed V. So this is what we have. Now I will cut it out. Can you see what we have right here? Can you see? So this is for the front neckline, while this is for the back neckline. Now the first thing that we do is to take it to the sewing machine and join the shoulders. I'll join the shoulders right here. So guys, I've joined the shoulders. So this is the wrong side and this is the right side. You can see the neckline. Now what I'm going to do is to measure around the neckline so I can cut my collar. Now if you want to measure around the neckline, you start measuring from this point. Let me notch the part of that front neckline where you start your measure, just this edge, just notch it a little. Can you see? Just notch it. Now I will measure from that notch, from that part I notch. Can you see this part? I'll measure it round the neckline to know what I have. So just carefully measure it round. Now at this point, I have 26 1/4 inches. Can you see it? 26 1/4 inches. Now I will take the plain fabric I want to use. So you can use any plain fabric of your choice. So I have 26 1/4 there. I will just make sure I had 3 inches to hit. So I've cut it out. Let me measure what I have here. 2 or 3 inches. Here I have 29. So I added about 3 inches to it. So when you are cutting it, I've cut out the collar already. You just make sure your fabric is unfolded this way, and the width should be 2.5 inches or 2 1/4 inches. So the total width of the collar will be 2 inches. So whatever you want your allowance to be to join the collar to the neckline, to the fabric itself, that is what you should have to hit. Here I have about 2 1/4 inches, not up to 2.5. So I will just use 1/4 to join it to the neckline. Now I added interfacing, the lightest one, popularly known as stay, just to give it some stability. So this is the total amount of collar I need and the width. Make sure your fabric is on fold when you are cutting it. Now for the design in front on the chest area, can you see I already cut out a square fabric as well. Not a perfect square, but let me measure what I have here. I have 11.5 by 10.5 inches. So you can just randomly measure what you want. Now going over to the design, you can make any design of your choice as well. It depends on what you want. So here I will just shock out these points and cut it out. You can do any design of your choice, like I said. Can you see it? So this is how it will be. Now the first thing I will do is to turn it to the right side. This is the right side, and take my collar it is better for your collar to be longer than the amount you want than it to be shorter by the time you fix it on it. So since I have more than enough, I can always trim it off, you know. So I'll just fix it right here. From that point where I notch, you can see I make sure there's a little bit allowance out here since I have more than enough. So I'll just spin it all around and use whatever allowance, either half inch or quarter inch, to just join it to the neckline all round. So I will take it to the sewing machine now and join it all round till I get to the other notch part right here. Can you see? So I will go and do that now. So guys, I've fixed the collar. Can you see? So what you can do to these edges is to finish it up with an overlock. Just overlock the edges to make it neater. So what I will do now is to notch this part. The parts where I notch initially, I'll just notch the collar too, so that it will be easier for me to turn. So I'll just push it in like this. Can you see it? So that is why you should make sure the collar is longer than what you measure on your neckline. I'll just take my patch, this plain one. You can see I make sure I iron half inch round, so it will be easier for me when I'm top stitching on it. So you can see, like I said, you can just do any design. You can make it this way, you can turn it this way, and you can do a different design. You can just be creative. That is the word. So I'll just leave it like this. You can see already folding the edges by half inch, so it will be easier for me when I'm top stitching. So what I will do now is to take it to the sewing machine, and first I will just sew it in this manner. I will not top stitch it, I will just sew it in like this, then turn it back and top stitch the other sides. Can you see it? So that's what I will do. Now at this point too, if you want to add a pocket, this is the point you can also add your pockets. I will not be adding pockets to this, but if you want to add your pockets, I have a detailed video on that as well. You can check the description box below for the link. So there's a easy way you can add your pockets to it. And so by the time I fix this design, this front patch now, I'll just fold it back like this. The first thing I'll do is to fold the hem of the sleeve. This point I will fold it in maybe by 1 inch. Can you see? I'll fold the other side too, then join them together in like manner, and can you see? I'll just stitch it from here all around. I will not use up to 1 inch. I'll stitch it like this down, then I'll fold the 2 inches allowance I left at the hem. I'll fold it. I will also fold that round, and I will show you the final look. So guys, this is the final look of the Bubu dress with collar and this design in front. So you can see I already fixed the sides and also fold the hem. Can you see? It looks so beautiful. So that is that for today's tutorial. If this tutorial has been helpful, kindly give this video a giant thumbs up. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do that now. Click on the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.